Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Facebook Ads Live, a webinar being brought to you via Google Hangouts. I'm excited to be here with all of you, and I'd like to start just by saying thank you for being part of the Pilot to Profit Success System and part of that community. I love how interactive our group is, and I love getting to know each of you. And I'd just like to give Anil a shout out for sharing so much generous and valuable information in our group recently about images. So thanks a lot, Anil. That was super, super, super helpful. I'm squirming here as I try to get comfortable. All right. Today's webinar is going to be jam-packed, and you're not going to see me on the screen for most of it because in order for me to teach you about Facebook ads, I need to show you some of what you need to do. The good news is we've got probably 60 to 75 minutes together max. The bad news is I could probably teach an entire day on Facebook ads and you would still have questions. So what I've done is I've taken all of the questions that were posted about Facebook ads in our Facebook community, and I've listed them on a piece of paper with some bullet points and thoughts around what I want to teach you. And I have prioritized them in order of sequence, I guess. You know, the most basic to the most complex so that I can go through things in an order that makes sense for you. And I'm going to get started, and I'm going to do that for you and with you today. If you have questions, you can post them in the Facebook chat, or if you want to have a separate chat screen open, I've got my laptop here, and I've got the Facebook chat open at lisalarter.com /Facebook/chat. So if you can hear me, I would love it if you would just put a message in the chat right now so that I know that you're here and that everything is working the way that it should be. That would be absolutely awesome. And I may need to do another ad or another webinar. So we'll see how this goes. If I don't get through everything today and there's still lots of interest and questions about Facebook ads, I'm happy to go back and do another one. The challenging thing about Facebook ads is there's a lot of moving parts, and sometimes me showing you how to do an ad is one thing, but if you don't know how to create the graphics to go with the ad, or you don't have a landing page set up, it can affect your ability to actually follow through. So like I said, there are actual courses that are really, really long on how to do Facebook ads. So I'm going to give you as much as I can today based on what you've asked for, but I do not consider myself a Facebook ads expert. I consider myself a generalist who is really good at putting together a strategy to get results in terms of how I use Facebook ads myself for my business and for some of my clients. So I'm going to share my learning with you. And just so you know, I have put out a request to interview John Loomer. John Loomer's entire business is about Facebook ads. You can find him at John, Jon Loomer, LOOMER.com. And I've hired John to do some one-on-one work with me when I had questions about Facebook ads. He's very, very knowledgeable, and I'm speaking to someone later today about potentially interviewing him for our community. So I'm hoping he says yes to that interview, and if he does, you'll be able to submit questions in advance for me to ask him. So if you feel like you need a deeper dive after this, I would encourage you to check out some of what he offers. I'm not an affiliate. I don't have an affiliate link. I'm just sharing that because he's the guy I go to learn from when it comes to Facebook ads. So I think that's it for my notes. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to share my screen, and we are going to get started in terms of Facebook ads. So get ready, guys. And this is being recorded. So the good news is, can you guys see that okay? Is it big enough? Should I make my screen a little bit bigger for you? Is that better? Let me just see. Yeah, it's probably better for everybody. I know that Google Hangouts is great for sharing the screen, but sometimes the screen resolution gets a little bit pixelated. So, okie dokie, let's get going. So the first thing I want to talk about are the different types of ads. And so everybody, if you go to a Facebook page, everybody is pretty familiar with a boosted post. You can click on boost post to reach people. You can choose people who like your page, people who like your page and their friends, people that you choose through targeting. You can target using custom audiences, lookalike audiences, or you can just add you can add demographics in terms of, sex, age, et cetera, et cetera. You'll notice that I'm getting a warning right away that says it looks like the image you're using may have too much text. I'm going to talk about that later on. I just wanted to really show you how you can do a boosted post. That's one quick and easy way. And I'm going to talk to you about how to create these audiences later on in the webinar. I use boosted posts a lot, and I use them a lot because I can just pick an audience. I can run the ad for a couple days, and then I can pick another audience and run the ad for a couple days. And it helps me to get visibility in front of the audience that I want to see my stuff. So basically what you do is you pick a budget, and let's say you pick $14. If you pick $14, you can go for a maximum of 14 days. But if you were to pick, say, $7, then you could only go for a maximum of 7 days. Because if I choose 14 days, I have to have a budget of a minimum of $1 a day. Otherwise, my ad won't run. So this is how you would boost a post. And obviously, you have to have your credit card set up to work with this. You'll see here what the desktop view of the ad would look like. You'll notice that there's a like page button that shows up automatically, which I like. And if you want to see what it looks like on the mobile newsfeed, this is what it would look like on mobile. Keep in mind, a lot of people are viewing content on social media, especially Facebook, on their mobile device. So you always want to take a look at your mobile view as well. So that's one way that you can advertise, quick and easy, using a Facebook post. And basically what you're doing is you're boosting your post visibility through your Facebook page. And so people often say to me, do I really need a Facebook page? And this is one of the reasons that Anil says everything's blurry. Anil, can you try refreshing? I made the screen bigger, so I'm hoping it's not blurry for you. I'm wondering if maybe, you know what, guys, give me a second here. I am going to open up, where is it? Applications. I am going to open up a application that I have, and I'm going to record from this point on with the ScreenFlow application as well, because the ScreenFlow application will allow you record audio, record video, record desktop. Okay, so I am recording on ScreenFlow as well, and that way you guys will have a backup recording if anybody else is having a hard time seeing. So anyways, back to what I was saying. Boosting a post is one quick and easy way, and having a Facebook page is very valuable because it helps you to promote your content. And when I think about content on social media, I always think about 3 steps in terms of you need to have awareness. People need to know that you exist. After they know you exist, you need repeat visibility. Because when you meet somebody in person, you forget who they are if you don't interact with them on a regular basis. So it's not enough for somebody to know about your business one time. You need to be visible on a regular basis in order to become top of mind. And the more they see you, the more they feel like they know you. And that's what helps you to develop likability and trust with people. Once you've developed likability and trust, it's a lot easier to get people to engage with you. So let's go now and look at our Facebook ad manager. So if you click the home button on Facebook and you click on ads manager, it's going to take you into the Facebook ads manager. And when you get into the Facebook ads manager, if you click on create ad, it is going to give you all these different types of ads that you can choose. So we already talked about boosting the post, and you can boost the post either directly from your page, or you can go in here and you can do a boosted post using the ads manager. You can promote your page. So the objective of promoting your page would be to get more page likes. You want more people to know about your page, and so you can create an ad and have a specific audience that you target to get more page likes. You can also send people to your website. So a lot of times I will boost my blog content on my page because I want to send more traffic to my website. And I will boost that content for a 2-week period so that my piece of content is actually working longer for me than just posting it that day. By boosting it for 14 days, I get more airtime in the newsfeed and I get more visibility because my post continues to show up in front of people without me having to constantly be talking about it or sharing it. You can also use Facebook ads to increase conversions on your website. So if you're trying to build your list or you're selling something and you want to know if you have actually converted any leads from Facebook, you can do it. You can create an ad to do that. You can also use app installs to get people to install your app. So basically that's an ad to get people to download your app. You see that a lot with gaming. So you'll see people who are advertising games on Facebook because they want you to download the gaming app. You can also do the same thing to retarget or increase engagement in the app. So, sometimes let's say you are guilty of playing Candy Crush. Well, you might see an ad in your newsfeed that says that there's a competition on Candy Crush today, or your friends are playing on Candy Crush right now to try to re-engage you. You can also reach people near your business. You can select ads that are location-based. You can raise attendance at an event. So if you create an event on Facebook, you can actually advertise the event. You can create a special offer. So let's say you want to give people a $5 coupon to use at your retail store. You could create an ad and offer 100 coupons for $5, and basically that ad will run until the coupons have been redeemed. And then you can also create an ad to get video views on Facebook. So those are some of the different types of ads that are available to you. And it's important that you think about the type of ad that you want to meet the objective that you have. So typically what people say to me is they either want more traffic to their website, they want more people on their list, or they want to sell something. Those are the 3 typical objectives that people come to me with. And so if they want more traffic to their website, you can simply boost your post, or you can send people directly to your website. If you're boosting a post and it's just a picture of a sunset, it's not really going to do a lot to you or for you. So if you're going to boost a post, you want to boost a post that actually sends people to your website, like a blog content. You want there to be a clickable image in that post that takes them to your website. If you're trying to increase your list, you might want to use a conversion tracking pixel, or for me, sometimes I just use the good old link, and it's the only place that I share it. And then I know how many people were added to my list for that specific reason, and I know how effective it's working. But I have used conversion pixels when I am selling a program so that I know what my cost of acquisition was. If I'm selling something, I want to know how many people are buying from my Facebook ad versus buying as a result of some of the other things that I do. And the way that that works is you end up putting a pixel on the thank you page. And so it allows you to know how many people got to the thank you page. They wouldn't get to the thank you page unless they purchased. So the pixel allows you to track how many people made it all the way through, which is great data for business owners. So the next thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about the components of a good ad. So what is it that makes an ad good? And my belief is that, well, let's look at this ad right here, for example, the Brand 24 ad. My belief is that there are 4 elements, 3 to 4 elements of a good ad. One is the copy that you use on the ad. And the copy that you use is in a number of different places. You can use the copy here. You can use copy on the actual image. You can use copy in the body down here, in the link where you're clicking. And even this little piece here where it says brand24.net is editable when you create an ad. So the copy is what people read. But the second thing that's really important is the image that you use, because it's the image that captures your attention. Not only is the image important, but the landing page. So if I take you back over to my Facebook page, I'm going to show you an ad that I'm running right now so that you can see. So here's an ad that I'm running. And basically all I've done is boosted the post and targeted an audience. And you can see that there's some copy. Very, very clear as to who I'm speaking to. Would you like to write a book this year? Very, very clear as to what I'm doing. I'm giving away my template on how to draft your book outline. It's free. You get the actual Word document, plus you get my outline so you can model the way I constructed my best-selling book. So that copy is very tight, it's very to the point, and it tells people exactly what they're going to get. If you look at the image, it's a picture of me. It's a recognizable image because it's very similar to the one that's on the cover of my book. And then you'll notice that I've just got learn to write your own book across the top. It's really clear that this ad is about learning to write your own book. I like the simplicity of this ad. I like that it's really, really clear as to what you're going to get. You know, tells me right here what it is. Book outline, Lisa Larter. So if I click on this, it's going to take you to the next thing that's really important, which is your landing page. So the landing page delivers on exactly what I offered in terms of the ad. So you'll see it's simple. You've got a picture of the book, you've got copy around the book, you've got the opt-in box, and it tells you that I'm going to send this stuff to you. If your landing page doesn't look nice, chances are you will have a lower conversion rate in terms of getting people to opt in. The same is true for when you have a blog post. So if you look at this I've boosted as well, and it is the Shop Talk video that I did this week, or my blog post. So when you get to this page, if you look at this page, like, it looks really nice. So I'm boosting the actual post, but I'm also putting a little bit of attention and effort into making sure that the actual experience or the fulfillment of what somebody clicked on looks good. So it's not only your copy and your image, but your landing page is critical to the experience and what people do. If you look at your website, there's this thing called bounce rate. A bounce rate happens when somebody types something into Google and you click back right away. Well, the same thing can happen when somebody clicks on your ad. They can click back right away and bounce right off of your site. If your landing page is effective, they will actually stay. They'll do something. They'll interact with your website in some way. And that way you won't just have a bounce, which is really not effective in terms of sending traffic to your site. With respect to visibility, so this is another component of a good ad, in my opinion. When you are just spray and pray marketing in terms of your audience, your ad will not be as effective as when you have a really good custom audience. So if I just boosted my post and I targeted women between the ages of 20 and 65 in Canada and the United States, that's a really, 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 really wide target. Now, if I were to narrow that down and I were to target women who live in the United States and they're between the ages of 40 and 65 and they like eWomen Network, chances are some of the women who see that ad are going to know who I am because I've spoke at their conference for a number of years. So you want to try to target people that actually know who you are and target a little bit outside of people who know who you are. But if your visibility, if you're targeting people and you're completely out in left field, they don't have any idea who you are, you're going to have to spend more money and do more in terms of visibility before people start to engage with you. People need to see you. They need to develop familiarity to see you on a regular basis and to actually like your content and engage with it before you actually start to get results. Okay. I know Rishi has been posting some questions. So what my intention is not to just stop the training to answer questions, because I won't get through all of the training. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going through all the training. My goal is to get through all of the training by 2 o'clock and to spend the next 15 minutes at the end answering questions. So Rishi, I see you're posting questions in Skype for me. That's super helpful because it'll give me an easy place to access the questions. And if we don't have time to answer them all today, I can actually stay on a little bit later than 2:15, but I do have a call at 2:30. So I will answer as many questions as I can before I have to go to my call. Okay. Now let's talk about audiences. So when you go back to Ads Manager and you click on Tools up at the top, you can click on Audiences. When you click on Audiences, you can create an audience. There are 3 different types of audiences that you can create. A custom audience. When you create a custom audience, essentially what you're doing is you're uploading a list. So maybe you're trying to match emails, phone numbers, Facebook user IDs, or mobile advertising IDs to people on Facebook. Or maybe what you're trying to do is create an audience based on web traffic. Or maybe you're trying to create an audience based on app activity. Remember I said you could actually do an ad to engage people who use your app? That's how you would do it. You would create an audience for anybody who uses the app that has actually, so that Facebook could advertise to the people who play the app on their mobile device. So the internet's a little bit like Big Brother. They're watching what it is you are doing. So if you were to click on custom audience, you would need to upload a file. And typically that's a CSV file or an Excel spreadsheet that uploads all of the names and email addresses. Or you could copy and paste it, or you can import from a third-party service like MailChimp. What happens is when you upload that list, Facebook will essentially scrub all of their users. And let's say you upload 1,000 email addresses. You might end up with a list of 400 people. Because the email address or the phone number or the Facebook user ID needs to be a match inside of Facebook. If it's not a match inside of Facebook, then Facebook's not going to be able to target them. But if you give Facebook the right information to target those people, then Facebook can do that for you. The next way that you can create a custom audience is to create a lookalike audience. And so essentially when you choose a lookalike audience is you choose a custom audience or a conversion tracking pixel or a page, and you then choose a target country, and Facebook will create a lookalike audience for you. So let's say I wanted to create a lookalike audience of my own Facebook page for Lisa Larter. I could type in, Lisa Larter, my page right here. And then I could say country, United States. I could probably add Australia. Did I? Oh, it's not letting me. Why isn't it? Maybe I can only add one. Oh, no, there. See? So I could select Canada as an example. And if I selected Canada, that means that there's an audience size of approximately 208,000 people that are similar to the people who like my page. So what Facebook does is it scrubs the demographics, the likes, the interests of all the people who like my page. And it creates a profile or a persona. And then it goes out there and it tries to find other people that are similar to the people who like my page. And then I could confirm this and essentially create a lookalike audience based on the people who like my page, and I could then advertise to them. Because one would think that if those people like my page, people who are similar to them in terms of their profile, likes, and interests would probably like my page too. Now, I have a lot of lookalike audiences that I have created, and I have to tell you, they haven't worked that well for me. So it's not to say that they won't work well for you, but they have not worked that well for me. So I tend to use saved audiences. Saved audiences are my favorite. It's like my secret weapon. All right. So let's say we're going to name our audience, and I'm going to use, let's use eWomen Network as an example, just because I worked with them for such a long time. So I name my audience eWomen Network page. All right. And I don't want a custom audience because, you know, I don't need any of my custom audiences. So I'm not going to pick Canada. I'm going to add the United States. And that's enough because they're really North American based. I want women between the age of, let's say, 35 and 65. I want them to, so I would select women. I want them to speak English, and then include people who match at least one of the following. So watch this. eWomen Network. I can literally pick their page right here. People who have expressed an interest or like pages related to eWomen Network. So I can literally select that page, but now watch, it gets even better. I could go Facebook admin. And look, Facebook page admins. And I could select that as a behavior. Now, why would I want to do that? I learned this from Sigrun, because I hired Sigrun to help me with some ad stuff last year. Because most people who are business owners have their own Facebook page. So this allows me to attract the audience of 50,000 people. And then this allows me to drill down to the behavior of the people in that audience. So now I've got, you know, a huge potential reach in terms of people that I want. So that's what you can do in terms of creating an audience. So I'm going to cancel this because I've already got these audiences, but that's an example of how you can create a really great audience. Now, you can also, when you're creating an ad, you can just do basic demographics, right? You can go in, let's say we want to send people to our website, all right? And we're going to use my book outline as an example, all right? So we've got the book outline URL. We've got the campaign name. I'm going to say book outline. I've got my tracking pixel because I already have pixels. So I can say no pixel selected if I want. And then I'm going to set audience and budget. So here I could select a custom audience. So I could go down here and I could pick a custom audience for, let's say, I don't know where my audiences are. So I should have a Christine Kane audience. It's not kind of showing up. Okay. So I'll show you what I would do. So I'm targeting Canada. You can target just based on where and the age and the sex and the language, or you could go down here and you could go like this, Christine Kane, and I could target her page because I could say I want to target specifically the people who like my page. Now look, this is giving me a little bit of feedback. It's saying that there's less than 1,000 people in Canada. So I could go like this, United States, add that, and see what happens. Now my reach should go up. There's got to be more than 1,000 people. Let me go here, interest Christine Kane. Now I've got a good audience. So see, they tell you, if you end up here, your audience is too big. So if I go like this and I add Marie Forleo into the mix, what's going to happen is my little thingy is probably gonna, it hasn't gone up. Let me see. Let's add eWomen Network. Let's try to add Deepak Chopra. See what happens. I think that's too many people. I'm surprised it's not saying that it's too broad. My goal is to always try to have under 1 million people when I'm targeting. I like to target smaller audiences, and I would never do this, by the way. I would target one of these at a time. I would rather do 10 different ads with 10 different audiences than target one ad to 10 audiences. And the reason that I would rather do that is because then I know which one performed better, because Facebook is going to tell me in the reporting. So then you get down here and you select your daily budget. Now, it's really important that you pick either a daily budget or a lifetime budget, and that you set a start and end date. Because if you don't set a start and end date, your ad will just keep running forever. So if I want to spend, $20 a day, I don't need to spend $20 a day. I can spend $2 a day, and I could run this ad for a month and target, this audience and these number of people, which is still really broad, because I don't want to do that. I don't actually want to go live with this ad, but I just want to show you. So let's just pretend that I do that. Then I'm going to get to choose my ad creative. So when you get to this section to choose ad creative, you can pick a single image, or you can do one of these carousel ads. I'm sure you've seen them all the time on Facebook, where you see multiple images being shown in the ad. You can pick a carousel ad if you want. I'm not really a big fan of the carousel ad, just because it's my preference. I like the bigger image. I think it's more powerful than seeing a carousel ad like this. But I'm also a big fan of testing. So if you're going to do something, you can always test both and see which one works best. So then you get here and you can write copy. So, writing my book was hard, and you can learn how to write your book if you want by downloading my book, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so now it's telling me that my ad will always show the first 90 characters, and that the extra characters may not be displayed. That's okay. That's totally okay. It just means that you're going to see that little read more or see more on the ad. Now, you want to be cognizant of that. If you have way too much copy, then it might be hard for people, but you can add additional copy. Then you can choose your headline. So see how it says book outline? I might want to change this to write your book. And this should update. See, write your book. And then the description that I pick might be download my guide. It's optional to write download my guide. It's this little part that goes underneath the ad. So you can do that, and then I've got the destination URL. Now, what you want to look at here is this is showing me the desktop news view. If I don't want it to be on desktop, I only want it to be on mobile, I can remove desktop. And then when I click on mobile, it shows me what it's going to look like on mobile. If I don't want mobile, I can remove mobile. You've also got audience network, third-party mobile apps. If I don't want it to show up on third-party mobile apps, then I can remove it from there. And if I want, I could actually put it on, I could add it on Instagram. But I think this isn't working because I have not, the placement is disabled. This is not available for some reason. Hang on, let's see. Yeah, so I haven't added the right information. I needed to upload an image, and I haven't done that. I've just used the image that they gave me. So I would need, this image size is not the right image size for Instagram. So if I was going to do something for Instagram, I would need to upload an image that meets the Instagram specifications. So that's basically how you go through and you create your ad, and then you place your order. Now, one of the problems that you're going to run into with your ads is if you, I don't want to do this, so continue. If you upload an ad that has more than 20% text, your ad will get booted out. So what do? If you go to, where is it? Right here. If you Google Facebook grid tool, and I will add this into the group so you have it. Basically what it does is it is a tool. So it's facebook.com/ads/tools/text_overlay. So if I choose a file, so these are pictures of me. I'm just going to grab my book image as an example. And it's going to show you, see these grids? There's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Well, 20% text rule says that I can only have text in 5 squares. So I have text in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This ad would get declined. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you're cheating your ads. You know, sometimes people are like, how did they get so much text? Well, it's because they've done a really good job of leveraging how much text they put in one spot. Now, this image is not a great image in terms of, let me get rid of this image because of the, hang on, why is this not? Because it's a vertical image instead of a horizontal image. So if you click and you do something like this, which is more horizontal in nature, then you'll see when it finally uploads, oh, it's really slow out there. Oh, that's weird. Oh, there. So you'll see I could put it right here if I wanted to, or right here if I wanted to. I can put my text in that space. So this is a tool that you can use to know right away whether or not your ad is going to be approved. You can also put your text image in a box like this. As long as you only have text in 5 spots, you're okay. So you can make a word here, a word here, a word here, a word here, and a word here, and it might look, you know, different than if you did words all across here. But you just need to be mindful that you can only have text in 5 boxes. If you have text in more than 5 boxes, there's a high likelihood that your ad will get rejected. And sometimes Facebook will show them in the beginning and you think, oh, I got away with it. And then they just stop running your ad and you don't realize that your ad has stopped running because you're in violation of the text rules. So try to use that tool, that grid tool. And Rishi, if you are on here right now, actually, I know you're on here. I'm going to type that link into Skype chat. And if you wouldn't mind sharing that in our Facebook group, that would be great. So, all right, what else do I need to show you guys? Somebody asked, what's the difference between a sponsored ad and a boosted post? They are exactly the same thing. So whether you are boosting something or whether you are using the ad manager, you're going to see the word sponsored. All right, because as soon as you see the word sponsored, you know it's an ad. And even if you boost it, it says it's sponsored. So anytime you see sponsored in your news feed, and even in Instagram, if you see sponsored, you'll know that you are viewing an actual ad. All right. So the next thing I want to show you is how do you create a pixel and be able to do conversion. So, and I just want to let you know that I actually have a cheat sheet for this. So I'm going to give you the cheat sheet so that you have it because it's not super easy to remember how to do this. So you go to the ads manager and you choose your account from the drop-down menu. So I'm in my account versus somebody else's account. And then you are going to click on Tools, and you are going to click on Pixels. So this is how you create a pixel so that you can put the code on your website and retarget and then create the audience with that pixel. So on the Pixel tab, you are then going to click on Actions, and you are going to click on View Pixel Code. Alrighty. Once you click on View Pixel Code, you are going to copy all of this code, and then what you need to do is you need to put it into what's called the header and footer on WordPress. So if I go to my dashboard in WordPress, I'm going to see if I can find it for you, just so I can show you. Essentially, you go to WordPress and then you go to plugins. So you would click on plugins. And then you would go to header and footer scripts right here. And when you click on your header, like so if I click here, oh, why is it not? I guess I would edit my header and footer scripts. I'm not going to do anything because I don't want to break it. You can see that this code is right here. I've got stuff already in here. So basically what you would do is you would copy this and you would paste it. Hang on, am I in the right spot? It's different for every website. So if you use WordPress, you're going to go to header and footer. So that's where we are, and you're going to plug it in here. And my recommendation is don't do this alone. Do this with a web developer, because then you're going to need to copy. You need to copy and paste that code into here. And I'm afraid to do that because I'm afraid to break my website. But once you've done that, then you go back to your ads manager, and what you do, oh, let me go there again. So pixel, and then view pixel code. If you don't know how to do this and you don't want to break your website, this is what I suggest you do. Click on email pixel code and email it to somebody that knows how to do it, or copy all of the code. So go back to this and click on view pixel code, and then copy all of this and copy and paste it into an email and ask them to add it to your website. Don't worry, Adele, I'm not adding anything to my website. Like, you could log me out if you want, because I'm not breaking anything. I'm smarter than that. I would rather pay somebody who knows how to do this to do it. But then what you do is you go back to your ads manager, and you're going to click on Tools, and you're going to click on Custom Conversions. When you click on Custom Conversions, you're then going to create a custom conversion. And then what you can do is you can enter the URL of the page that you want to track conversions from. And give me 1 second to let my crazy dog out of my office. Oh, he's gone. You can add the URL. So let's say I wanted to track the conversions on my book outline page. I could put the URL in here, and then I could choose whether to track if they viewed it, if they added to cart, like any of these things I can track. So that's basically how you would do it. So you're gonna once you do that, so let's say you select a lead, and let's say we go Lisa Larter, http://lisalarter.com/outline. Okay. And then I want to know if it's a lead. I click next, and then I name the actual custom conversion. So I could say book outline leads. And then I need to set a conversion value. And I don't really know what the conversion value is. So I guess to better understand, says assign a value to this conversion to better understand the total value of your advertising. I'm not really sure what that means. So I wouldn't set that. I would just name the conversion. And then when you go back in and you want to do an ad, you can pick that pixel in your customer list, in your custom audience list. Your pixels show up there. So if I go here and I go to audiences, and I go to create an audience, and I want to create a saved audience, I can actually choose some of my custom audiences that are in here. And some of these are pixels. See, this is a website audience. So these are things that you can do with your pixels. Alrighty. So now that we've covered all that, and that's really complicated stuff, guys. I don't do that stuff. So I kind of muddled my way through it to show you, and I'm going to send you the document so you have the step-by-step. So if you want to do it yourself, you can. But my recommendation is that you just get the code and you mail it to your web guy and you ask him to put it in. Because if you break your website, it can cost a lot of money to fix it. So unless you are skilled in how to do this, my recommendation is hire a professional to do it. I wouldn't try to pull my own tooth. I'd pay a dentist. So I would highly suggest you get somebody to do it for you so you don't ruin your website. All right. What else? Covered all that. We covered all that. The next thing is, how do you advertise your group? So advertising groups is tricky because Facebook won't let you tag your group on your page. So if I go at Profit Primer, it doesn't show up for me. And if I use the link to the group, sometimes it'll let me advertise and sometimes it won't. So my recommendation is to have a redirect. So what I do on my website is, if you go to lisalarter.com/PPG, stands for Profit Primer Group. That now is a link that I can advertise to. So I can literally upload an image, and I can, actually, I don't know if this, let me just see what happens. No, there's no image. Delete. So what I could do, I'm surprised there's no image there. Maybe because there's no HTTP. http://lisalarter.com/PPG. No image. All right. What I could do is I could add an image myself, and then I could write some copy, and I could ask people to join my group, or I could take the link for my group, Profit Primer, and I could copy the link, and I could go back to my page, and I could type this in like this, and you could try to advertise this. It wouldn't work because I have all these words. And a while ago, Facebook wouldn't let you advertise to a group, but I think they may have changed it. And that's why we did the redirect as a workaround, so that we could actually advertise and advertise my group. And so if you create a really fun image, like you're invited to my group, and you know, we've got all kinds of places where you can create great images like WordSwag or Canva, and you ask people to join your group, you make it a fun graphic, you are under the 20% text rule, and you add your link without using the Facebook link. Use a redirect like I did. You can then boost the post and you'll get people to join your group. The other thing you could do is you could do like what I did here. I was really ticked off this morning when I read that Donald Trump thing. Where is it? So here, I added this image, which does not meet the 20% text rule, by the way. I would have to tighten it up. But I tagged my group here. And by tagging my group, it makes it easier for people to find it. But I could create an image like this in WordSwag that just says, join my group. and then I could tag the group here and just make it a really clear call to action. The only problem is on your Facebook page, you cannot tag your group, but on your profile, you can. So if you want to advertise your group, you're going to want to use a link that is a redirect to your group, because you can't actually tag it on your page. And if you've got copy on the header of your image, there's a good chance that Facebook isn't going to approve the ad. But before you spend money advertising your group, let me tell you, a simple message in Facebook Messenger inviting people to join your group with the link works really, really well. Just talking about the fact that you have a group and what it's about works really, really well. A couple of other things that you need to do with your group is, if you go to Profit Primer as an example, and you look at the group, there's a description. So if you click on this image, it tells you what it's all about. But if you click here on the description, you can read what this is all about before you join the group. So you always want to make sure you've got a really, really clear description of who the group is for and what the group is about, so that when people do go to join the group, before they actually click the join button, they're going to want to read what the group is about. So make sure that your description is compelling enough for them to want to join. All right, selling with ads. So I want to talk a little bit about targeting and your reach and ads. So depending on your objective, you really need to, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen now because I'm not really going to show you stuff. So when you're advertising, you really want to think about who you're trying to reach for what. If you're trying to just increase awareness and visibility of who you are, then it's okay to target a cold audience, an audience that doesn't know who you are. But you're just targeting that audience to create more awareness of who you are, because over time, they keep seeing you over time, and eventually, if they're the right person, they're going to engage with you in some way. They're either going to like your page, they're going to comment on your content, or they're going to join your email list. But they need to see you, and not the same piece of content 500 times, but maybe a couple pieces of content that you rotate through so that they establish familiarity with you and your brand. That's what you use a cold audience for, is to establish awareness and visibility in a new market. When you're trying to sell something, you want to target a warm audience. And that's where these tracking pixels come into play. If you've been on my website, chances are I'll have a better chance of selling you something because you know who I am. If you're on my mailing list, chances are I have a better chance of selling you something because you know who I am. If you like my Facebook page, I might have a better chance of selling something to you because you know who I am. So when you're selling, think in terms of the audience that you're trying to sell to. Because if you're trying to sell to a cold audience, chances are you're not going to convert very many sales. And if you do, your cost of acquiring the sale is going to be really low. Let me give you an example. I have a $47 quick start program on my website. And it's like an online marketing quick start. It's $47. I put an ad on my Facebook page for $50. And I ran it for a week because I thought if I sell one course, I just made my money back. I ran that ad for a week. The audience that I targeted was people who like my page. That's it. I sold 8 courses. Because the people who like my page see my content over and over and over again. And a $47 price point is easy. Same thing. If you're running a webinar and you plan on selling something from your webinar, don't try to target people who have no idea who you are. Try to target people who have seen you. Don't advertise your webinar to a brand new audience. Share your blog content with a brand new audience. Share your blog content with a brand new audience for 30, 60, 90 days, and then target that audience with a webinar or a freebie. You know, it's kind of like dating, right? Nobody wants to be like asked to go to bed on the first date. You know, you want to go out for dinner, you want to get to know somebody, you want to, you know, establish a relationship with them. But when we're using Facebook ads, it's like we're trying to get the third base before we've even said hello. So think in terms of cold audience is to increase visibility and awareness. Warm audience is to get people to opt into my list, and even warmer audience is to get people to buy from me. If you just think in terms of logic that way, you're going to spend less money and get a higher ROI on what you're looking to do in your business. And I know that you're impatient. I remember starting out, and I remember trying to build my business and build my tribe and convert my sales. And the harder I pushed, the harder it was. But if you could just be a little bit patient and think in terms of the year. By the end of the year, I want X number of people on my list. By the end of the year, I want to be able to sell X amount of dollars in revenue. Everybody wants to sell $100,000 or $1 million in programs. Well, I got to tell you, I've been doing this for a long time, and I average about $100,000 a year in online programs. And the rest of my money comes from events, it comes from private coaching, it comes from consulting, and it comes from implementation work. So you can focus all your effort on selling those online programs, but you need to hustle. You need to build relationships with people. You need to add tremendous value. I look at Kimra Luna and I look at what she did. She was laser focused. She spent so much time in Facebook groups answering questions and adding value and running webinars and teaching all kinds of free stuff. It was all of that work that she did, like 40, 60, 80 hours a week worth of work building up to her launch that helped her be successful. But too often we think we can just show up, throw up a Facebook page, start a new blog post, and bada boom, bada bang, we're going to make $1 million. It doesn't work that way. You need to put your time in, and you need to be patient. You need to serve your community, and then you will attract the right people, and your ads will get better over time, because all of a sudden people are going to start interacting with your ads because they know you, they like you, and they trust you, and it's going to get a lot easier. But in the beginning, it's hard. Don't give up in the beginning. I'm learning how to do something new this year. I'm going to share it with you. I'm learning how to run. I have not been athletic since grade 4. And I am running every day, not every day. I'm running 3 times a week. I'm using this Couch to 5K app, and it's hard right now. I'm red-faced and sweaty, and I am sucking wind, just running a minute 8 times with a 1.5 minute break in between. But I know if I keep at it, it's going to get easier. So remember, the things that are worth doing in life are worth having the patience to work through the hard parts. Don't give up too fast. Approach your Facebook ads from a logical perspective. Let people get to know you, then engage with people, then try to sell something, and you'll do good. But if you try to sell right out of the gate, you're going to be sadly disappointed. All right, so it's 5:02. I am now going to look at my Skype screen and see what questions I have. Is this technique boosting helpful to determine your demographic rather than you setting your demographic up front? Good question. What I would probably do, you could do it that way. It's basically reverse engineering, because when you do an ad, Facebook's going to give you the demographics on the people who clicked on your ads when you look at your reporting. You can also go to your Facebook page and you can look at your insights. Let me just share my screen. So if I share my screen and I make it bigger, so if I go to my page and I go to my insights also give me lots of data about my demographic as well. So where is it? Likes. Tells me how many likes, but where are the people? Reach. People. It wasn't obvious enough. So it shows me right here that 86% are women, and the bulk of them are between the ages of 35 and 54, 60%. So in my targeting, that's who I should be targeting, because I know that women in that age group are my sweet spot. I could add another 20% by going 25 to 64. But if I really want to hone in on the sweet spot where the bulk of them are, it would be 35 to 55. So you can do it either way. You can look at your ad and figure out who looked at your ad, or you can look at your insights and figure that out. And that's what I like about the uploading all of these different custom audiences, because if people are on your mailing list, then those are your peeps as well. And you can create a lookalike audience based on the people who are on your mailing list, and that's another good audience. And if you know that you speak at 10 events a year and the people at those events know you, or you're part of X number of associations and those people know you, then those are good places to try to target. For me, it's all about logic behind the strategy. Who knows me? Where do I have goodwill built up or a reputation? I try to, go into those areas before I go into the bigger areas where nobody has a clue as to who I am. But that's just me. And like I said, I am by no means a Facebook ad expert. I'm sharing with you what I know. You saw me muddle through some of it. I'm sure if you don't know anything about Facebook ads, it was helpful. But if you know things about Facebook ads, if you're more of an expert user, then some of this may have been really basic to you. If you go to John Loomer's blog and you read everything there, your head's still going to be foggy because it is a big monster. That's why, for me, some of the easiest things to do are create my audiences, get my tracking pixels set up, and then just boost the content that I want for my Facebook page. It's easy peasy. And for me, I like easy. I like the easiest route to get the outcome that I want. And I got to tell you, I have tested that book using Facebook ads, and I've tested that book using boosted posts, and my conversion and my cost per lead onto my list was better boosting my posts than it was when I did the Facebook ads. So who knows? All right. Any other questions? All right. Yeah, you're right, Karen, about the plugin to help with the code. I just don't know how to use it. So I would prefer not to do it because I don't know how. All right. All right. Well, then I guess we're done. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I am going to save the recording that I did from I use an application that is called, what's it called? Where is it? I don't see it in my doc. It's a screen recording application. So I'm going to save the screen recording application too. And just in case this is fuzzy, I'll make both of them available to you guys. Okay. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you're watching the replay and you have questions, just post them in the group and I'm happy to answer them. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Bye.